Live on DSTV channel 421, Go TV channel 125. This is JoyNews Today with me, Emefa Akosia Adati. This afternoon, we'll tell you how Ahafo Hwidiem is gradually becoming a galamsey hotspot as JoyNews research geospatial analysis shows over 200 acres of land have been destroyed by illegal miners as once lush farmlands and forest areas are fast turning into vast stretches of devastation. We'll take you to Bompata, where the people have expressed strong opposition to any form of mining activity within their land.
Farmlands, vegetation, and forest resources, our livelihood and our economy.
And in the news this afternoon, Lightwave e-healthcare solutions pushes back against allegations by Health Minister Kwabena Kando, dismissing the minister's claims as false and misleading, insisted that Ghana's medical data is not being hosted abroad.
So that is in simple terms, if I put it, the data sits at the ministry.
We'll bring you more as they insisted the majority of work under $800 million contract has been delivered. And also, the Ghana Journalists Association, GJ, is urging Parliament to grant at least a 3-month extension to the proposed misinformation, disinformation, hate speech and publication of offensive materials bill to allow further broader consultation before its passage.
The association firmly rejects any legislative process that excludes key stakeholders or threatens constitutionally guaranteed freedom of expression.
We have details as the association also rejects the draft cybersecurity amendment bill, describing it as vague and potentially dangerous to press freedom. Stay with us for this and more. JoyNews, independent, fearless and credible. I appreciate your company this afternoon. First, a JoyNews research shows Hwidiem in the Ahafo region is fast becoming a hotspot for illegal mining. Latest estimates indicate that over 200 acres of land have already been destroyed by illegal miners, with geospatial analysis revealing that galamsey activities are spreading into forest zones. Over recent years, the town and its environs have reported a sharp rise in galamsey operations. In 2021, the community was flagged among a number of localities in Ahafo where youth were abandoning farming in favor of illegal mining due to the lure and quick income. More recently, security forces disrupted a major illegal mining site at Bronikrom, Hwidiem, where a large number of miners, including foreign nationals, were arrested. Ahafo Hwidiem has been in the news since Saturday, and this time, NIMS officials have allegedly been attacked by the youth. The part of the allegation which has generated contradictions is that the Member of Parliament for Esutifi North, Ebenezer Kweku-Addo, was the instigator. Award-winning environmental journalist and environmental activist Erastus Asare-Donko has been sharing what he has uncovered about this development. He spoke earlier on News Desk with Mamiesi Thompson.
Well, so what we know is that the NIMO's arrest at that particular scene would have been without any drama, any chaos, if the MP had not gone there with over 20 heavily built men. Because when they went there, NIMOS had already arrested the people, put them in handcuffs. They were on their way to put them in police custody at Hwidiem. That was the plan. Until the MP showed up at the scene with over 20 men and asked them to release them. So it was the back and forth that started the agitation at the site before NIMO's personnel decided to whisk them away to the nearest police station. The MP and his boys also followed them to the police station. And there again, when you speak with the police, they will tell you that the MP still requested that the people be released. And those demands are what emboldened more people to storm the place and demand that the people be released before they leave. And finally, they got them released before the MP left the police station. And so it will be inaccurate for the MP to say that he was passing by for a funeral and then he heard the commotion and he went to the site. There was no commotion before he and his boys went to the site. It was just NIMOS and their personnel conducting their normal duties as they do. And there will have been no chaos if he had not gone there to intervene.
Now let's bring this home. Earlier, I mentioned how geospatial analysis has revealed that galamsey activities are spreading into forest zones. Now, head of research here at JoyNews, Isaac Ofieji, joins me in studio with the findings. Now, Kofi, what more do we know about this galamsey hotspots?
Well, so Hwidiem, as you can see on the smart wall, is gradually becoming a hotspot in terms of galamsey. And what we've been doing is to use geospatial analysis to actually understand what is going on in Hwidiem. So this is the hotspot that we are talking about, MFA, and we've been able to calculate the area of this hotspot. And in fact, you can see it's very, very close to a big mining site, official one, large mining site, and then also the Hwidiem Township, and then also Kenyase. So this particular hotspot is between Kenyase and Hwidiem. And in fact, if you look at this area that we are talking about, you may see it very small on the smart wall, but in terms of its size, it's about 293 acres of land, which has actually been, destroyed by illegal miners. And if you bring this home, then we are talking about over 200 football fields, close about 222 football fields that have been destroyed by, illegal miners. If you can see all of this, the close-by towns in terms of, this is Kenya, and as you can see, Hwidiem, and then also Newmont's mining, site also located here. So this whole area, you can say that is a place that is gold rich because you can see Newmont setting up here officially and mining legally. But this is the hotspot we are talking about. You can see very close to Newmont, very close to Kenya, and also close to Hwidiem. And so the estimation we are doing is that this particular hotspot that we are talking about is about 293, acres of land, or if you want, about 222 football fields destroyed by illegal miners. And so you can see it's very, very close to Hwidiem, than Kenyase, and this is gradually becoming a hotspot. And once large farmlands are now being destroyed.
Well, Kofi, just come to me. Let's even better understand it on the video wall because people can. Let's take it right home for them to understand. What I want to know is the distance between the hotspots to Hwidiem, which is the center of the conversation since Saturday.
It's just less than 3 kilometers. If we decide to just do the closest, home or actually a facility, that's about 800 meters from this hotspot that we are talking about. But Hwidiem town proper, that's less than 3 kilometers. If you look at it, between it and Kenyase, it's more than 3 kilometers. And it's also not far away from Newmont's own site around Kenyase. So this is a 293 acres of land hotspot that we've been able to identify, and that has been destroyed by illegal miners. And as we put it across, that is more than 200 different football fields combined destroyed. So you can see it over there. You can see Newmont site, located here, and then you can see Kenyase very, very close to Hwidiem itself. And so this is an area that is gradually becoming, a hotspot for galamsey.
Well, thank you so much, Kofi. You've just brought this right home for us to understand the devastation. But some people really at Bompata, or the people of Bompata in the Asante Achim South Municipality of Ashanti region, have expressed strong opposition to any form of mining activity within their land. Now, the community's position is based on concerns about the environmental, social, economic, and health impact of mining activities. Now, in a protest, the community members rejected plans by BB Brothers Limited to commence mining operations in the area. And Nanaya Ujima has been following this and has filed this report.
Clad in red and black, Residents of Bompata thronged the streets of the community to register their displeasure at mining in the area. In prospecting for gold, BB Brothers Limited have dug out soils in some farms for the purpose. According to the community, the digging was done on the blind side of the farmers. Joseph Ba is a spokesperson.
Our position is based on the serious environmental, social, economic, and health consequences that mining activities have caused in other parts of the country. We will not allow our land
Illegal mining continues to wreak havoc in some communities in the country. In a petition, the community referenced irreversible damages to the environment and human health in some communities, hence their displeasure. The group insists on all legal means to halt any attempt to mine in the area.
Our specific concern include, but not limited to the following. Number one, destruction of farmlands, vegetation, and forest resources, our livelihood and our economy. Number two, pollution of rivers, streams, and water bodies, which serve as the main source of drinking water for our people and neighboring communities. Number three, increase in social problems, including school dropouts, prostitution, insecurity, and the breakdown of social orders. Number four, rising cases of sickness and health complications.
Investigations have revealed the concession was secured early this year by the BB Brothers Limited, who are presently prospecting the area for gold. About 9 communities in the Asankare South Enclave will be affected by the mining activities. Spokesperson for the company, Eric Ampoma, says the holes dug in farms without the permission of farmers as part of prospecting for gold is regrettable.
Let me take advantage of this opportunity to plead with farmers affected by the prospecting activities. It wasn't our intention to do so. It was a mistake on the part of the company who did the project. We are very sorry.
Meanwhile, the mining company has insisted on adhering to all environmentally responsible means of mining. They say a plan to maintain a conducive environment is already documented.
Galamsey has negative effects on people. We know that, so we've taken all necessary means to prevent this. The company is from the community, and we will not do anything to destroy the community.
But the community insists, despite the documentation, all legal means will be used to prevent mining in the area. For JoyNews, Nanea Ojima reporting.
On to another critical area, health. Now, Lightwave e-Healthcare Solutions Limited, the lead company behind Ghana's national e-healthcare program, has strongly refuted claims made by the Minister of Health, Kobina Minta Kando, regarding the operations of the Lightwave Health Information Management System, which you know as LIMS, describing them as false and misleading, addressing the minister's claim that Ghanaians' electronic medical data is being managed from India. Lightwave emphatically rejected the assertion. The company clarified that the Ministry of Health maintains full ownership and control of the patient's data, which is securely stored in a centralized data repository in Accra, not outside the country.
That surprises me when the minister came out at Parliament to mention that they don't have the data and that they are unable to access to the data, and even going into where the data is hosted. It's with them. We don't own or control anything.
So you are saying that the actual information about all the patients who have been registered into this system that you created, that information of the patient's records are sitting with the ministry.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
Yes. Secondly, they will not be able to receive backups because we do remote backups in real time. So all these, when we say data sits at the ministry, every facility have their data locally. We back up every facility remotely to the data center at the ministry. So that is in simple terms, if I put it, the data sits at the ministry. However, if the minister or the ministry decides to go to each of the facilities, they have access at each of the facilities. And also, every facility has been backed up and is stored at the Ministry of Health. If your media team would go to any hospital that is running, any hospital, and you ask them to give you, that is using the Lightwave and they are working, and ask them to give you your medical records, and they tell you they are unable to, let us know, because it's there, they do it every time. So I don't know which data the minister refers to. If it is about the source code, which came up in the meeting we had on September 3rd, that is Lightwave intellectual property. It does not belong to the ministry or the government of Ghana. But the data that the system used, the system used in collecting, that data is for the ministry.
Responding to allegations that it had completed less than 50% of its contractual obligations, despite receiving 77% of the $100 million contract sum, Lightwave stated that the figures had been grossly misinterpreted.
I think this is another untrue or a misconception or a deliberate act of not telling the populace of Ghana the right information. Because, yes, we were supposed to do 950 facilities, and we have completed the number as indicated. However, each facility is different. They are not the same. Out the 900 facilities, we have teaching hospitals in there, we have regional hospitals, we have district hospitals, there are polyclinics, there are psychiatric hospitals, there are health centers, there are other midwife, maternity homes and all. But they have different capacity. So when it comes to a place like Kolebu, it's about 101 or so district hospitals. If you look at the staff strength and also the department, the magnitude of the place,
it's equivalent to about 101
district hospitals.
Now, this afternoon, the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, says it is investigating an explosive and economic impacting deal between the state-owned Bust and the Springfield Group. This revelation comes on the back of recent reports that CEO of Springfield Group, Kevin Ochre, has been arrested and detained in Dubai by authorities there, and member of our legal desk, Kiko Asante, has been doing some checks and joins me via Zoom to give us a breakdown. Okay, cool. Before we get into what we know about this supposed arrest, tell us what about EOCO and its investigations generally.
Well, over the weekend, there were a lot of reports and very rife claims that the group CEO of Springfield had been arrested in connection with some of the legal troubles that is currently facing in Dubai. We'll get into those one pretty shortly. But in particular, there were certain reports that claimed that there had been reports about that particular event to EOCO, and EOCO had refused to investigate. And so EOCO put out a statement explaining that they have in fact been investigating two matters having to do with Springfield. First, there is a petition that they received regards to Springfield and its operation. And then secondly, what they called an explosive and economy impacting deal between Springfield and Bust. And they say that is high on the agenda. And the reason why they've not made any arrests so far is because their plan and their ideology is always to do investigations first and arrest second. And that is why they have not made any arrests so far, and they are investigating that pretty shortly. So that is the statement they put out explaining that unlike claims that said that they had refused to act on the investigations against Springfield, they've actually been doing so. They've not made arrests because they want to conclude the investigation and have a solid base for which reason they can mount an arrest and a prosecution in court.
Well, so this statement then covers all the rumors then. There hasn't been any arrest or what, but did they confirm at least that Kevin Ottray had been arrested in Dubai at all?
Well, the only matter having to do with arrest that EOCO is talking about is whether or not EOCO have arrested him or called for an international body to do so. They say they haven't done so. We are trying to get confirmation from authorities in the Emirati to confirm whether or not Kevin Ottray has been arrested. First, we sent emails to the consulate in Dubai. We sent to the embassy in Abu Dhabi itself. There was no confirmation, or we did not get a response, and we haven't gotten a response since. We've also reached out to Springfield, and let's say that because of certain time lag and other things, they intend to put out a statement. And so one thing is clear, there's no confirmation that Springfield boss Kevin Ottray has been arrested, but also instrumentally, there is no denial. There is nobody even at Springfield that is telling us that no, Mr. Kevin Ottray is in Dubai doing his own things. Mr. Ottray himself also maintains a very active social media presence on X in particular. He has not since made any post on X to suggest that he has not been arrested or anything. So there's no confirmation, but there's no denial, Emitha.
Well, thank you for bringing some clarity. But quickly, stay with me. Let's talk about the Northern Caucus of Parliament as they are courting the support of the diplomatic community and partners to accelerate development in the 5 northern regions of Ghana. Now, the caucus is made up of MPs in all the northern regions from both sides of the House. And speaking during a stakeholders meeting with some members of the diplomatic corps, Majority Leader and Chair of the caucus, Mahama Yariga, pushed for partnership of deal or to deal with youth unemployment by creating sustainable jobs. Stay with me.
Northern part of this country has huge, vast expanse of arable land that remain uncultivated, undeveloped, and unirrigated. And then the youth of the north are compelled to run to the south to come and engage in menial jobs, and some go to the cocoa growing areas to try and then work in the forest belt because there the rainfall patterns enable agriculture to be done better than up north. And so you have vast populations of northerners relocating to the south because of the inability of our northern leadership to offer them the same opportunities up north. And even worse, many of the young people, lured by the promise of getting rich fast through mining, have invaded the forest belt where small-scale mining activities are taking place. They've abandoned school. They go hoping that when school reopens, they'll go back, and then they never return. And it has just become their lives.
Okay, cool. Glad that you're staying with me. But so agriculture was also high on the agenda. What's the plan for the caucus?
Well, according to Mahama Yariga again, like you heard him say, they believe that there's such an arable land in the northern part of the country that can be used to do agriculture. And as a group, they are sponsoring chiefs, the municipal chief executives in the north and other places to go to places that have a similar climate to that of the northern regions to get their buy-in and understanding, to be able to make the northern region a very stronghold when it comes to agriculture in Ghana and in the sub-region. Listen to him.
Took a decision that one area that we want to focus on is to develop the agricultural potential of the north as the breadbasket of the country. We believe that that's something we can do. So we took some strategic decisions, looked at past studies that have been done regarding the potential of the north as the breadbasket of the country, and decided to zero in on that as one project. And so we invited our regional ministers from all the 5 regions. They came down, and then we engaged the regional ministers on the idea of transforming the north into the breadbasket of the country. And regional ministers bought into the idea, and so we tasked them to go back and then study the various available locations where we could really try and then mobilize investments into large-scale commercial agriculture. And so they went back, they did the studies, and then they sent us their reports. We decided that we needed to build the capacity of our regional ministers to really anchor this initiative. And so the Northern Caucus raised funds and sent all the 5 regional ministers, and they were joined by the Bono regional minister, to South Africa, where they spent 10 days in the Limpopo province of South Africa, which has similar geographical features as northern Ghana.
Koku, what else was discussed at this meeting, and what's also on the agenda for the House this afternoon when they sit?
Well, when it comes to the northern region, one big issue is security, and so it features quite prominently on this meeting. The majority.
Did I lose Koku? I'm sorry. Great.
Yes.
Koku, I've not lost you. Please proceed. Unfortunately, I've lost Kweku, but definitely he'll bring us what's happening on the agenda later this afternoon if we do miss that in our subsequent bulletins. But away from that, a section of the public is questioning why the abundance of maize on the market has not translated into a reduction in the price of kenkey. This comes after the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana revealed that more than 200,000 metric tons of paddy rice and maize from the last farming season remain unsold, with several rice farms still unharvested. We'll be hearing from the president of the association shortly, but first, listen to some Ghanaians who say they expected the glut to reflect in cheaper kenkey prices, yet vendors have maintained their prices, especially the old one.
I bought 5 cedi of kenkey. It cannot reach me, so I request another one. So I make 10 cedi before I was satisfied. So if they are saying that the maize and the rice is abundant, one full bag is 200 Ghana cedi. And then when you buy kenkey 5 cedi like this, you can't satisfy unless you buy 2 or 3. The government will come in and talk about it.
The kenkey is not only the maize. They have this one, the leaf. They will buy it separate. They will use water to cook it. They will use firewood. Then they will use pepper. You can't buy only the kenkey and send it home unless they add pepper for you. That one too is another.
Kenkey di emidipa ni banku me pepper, but
I really enjoy eating kenkey and banku. In the villages, they are much cheaper, but here in Accra, the prices are too high. These days, kenkey costs around 7 to 8 cedis. I think the government should step in and support the farmers.
Well, taking a cue from the first speaker, 1 kenkey will not satisfy. Some of us would have to eat about 12 of it. But let's take a closer look at the details of that statement from the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana. We shall speak to the president later. But on your screen now, grain glut in Ghana, concerns of Peasants Farmers Association of Ghana. So over 200,000 metric tons of unsold paddy rice and maize remain from the last farming season. And paddy rice is the unprocessed rice that hasn't been harvested or processed for you to eat. But many rice farms are still unharvested, leaving farmers at a risk of total loss. The statement as well continues to break it down as to why bird invasion, bushfires, and limited harvesting capacity threatening farmers' investments. The situation could derail government's Feed Ghana program. They have been explaining why. They say that for the Feed Ghana program, if the government is not able to clear this grain glut, then people or farmers will not be interested in participating. Farmers fear it will discourage youth participation in farming next season. The statement also continues to say that the National Buffer Food Stock Company earlier released 100 million Ghana cedis to buy excess maize, rice, and gari. However, farmers have yet to benefit and no data exists on which districts received this support. And also, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture has since announced an additional 100 million to ease the crisis. But this is just excerpts of the statement, the small. But let's speak to the president of the Peasants Farmers Association of Ghana, Wepea Adugwala, to shed more light on this worsening grain glut affecting farmers across the country. Thank you, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on the news today. So you note that there's currently an estimated 200,000 metric tons of grain stuck in storage due to the glut. How severe is this year's grain glut compared to previous years?
Yeah, good afternoon and to your listeners. And then, so like we indicated in the statement, we've had a good harvest within the year. And after getting this good harvest, of course, as farmers, we expect that we'll be able to sell and make something out of it to prepare us for the next planting season. So like the statement indicated, we have a lot of paddy rice that is sitting, which we are not able to sell, and then they are harvesting maize. Some farmers are also even preparing to plant again, but of course we need money to be able to get inputs to do the plantation, and that is the source of worry to us as farmers.
Well, so this year you say 200,000 metric tons. I'm curious, is this the worst as farmers you have experienced so far, or this is just an exception?
Oh, yeah. So if you look at, like I indicated, the over 200,000 metric tons, it's been a good season for us. And if you go across the country, you realize that there's a lot of paddy that is sitting in many places that has not been sold. It's one of the biggest production that we have had. It's just one of the biggest that we have had in the country.
Okay. A part of your statement that has our attention as well is that the 100 million that the National Food Buffer Stock had said that it had released. What have you been learning about this amount of money and as to how it's been utilized so far for an association?
Exactly. That is why we have indicated that the first one that was released, we haven't seen the activities of buffer stock on the ground as long as our members are concerned. Because what we'd expect is that if the money is released to buffer stock company, we'll need to know the companies that are coming to buy the produce. We'll need to know the communities that they are supposed to buy. And because our members didn't see much of the first 100 million Ghana cedis that was released, that is why there's a bit of agitation. And of course, government also responding by releasing the second batch of the 100 million is a good gesture. But this time around, want to track the progress of it. That is why we have indicated in the statement that we want to know which companies or which people have been awarded the contracts to buy from us, which communities are they going to buy, and the timelines too are very, very important to us. So it's something that we have been waiting to get information from the buffer stock. In fact, all what we want is that those who have been given contracts to buy should be on the ground buying the rice.
Right.
They should be on the ground doing the activity. Because when they are there, the farmers will see them. There will not be any agitation. We know that they are moving from community A to community B, and that is very, very important to us. But if we normally hear announcement that 100 million has been released and we don't see the corresponding activities on the ground, then it becomes quite worrying to us as farmers.
Finally, beyond this amount of money that's been released so that you can see the purchases on ground, what other measures can we use to curb? I see you're also recommending that institutions purchase local rice. Is this another measure that will help curb the situation?
Of course, we will expect government to direct all public institutions to be buying from us. It's very, very important. You look at the school feeding program, it's very key to us. Public institutions like the military and other, those other there who are under the control of government advance money to them who are doing food purchases. Government should be able to have a policy directing them to buy from the local farmers, whether it is maize or it is rice and all that, because we need to eat what we grow. Because government cannot be giving taxpayers money to public institutions, and then you are buying foreign rice, exporting jobs and investment to foreign countries, and leaving our own farmers to struggle, and then we can't continue that way, especially with government policy of making Ghana become self-sufficient in rice production. If we don't buy to empower these farmers, if they are discouraged and they cut down on production, then of course it will defeat government's own purpose of making Ghana become self-sufficient in rice production and other foodstuffs.
Pia, thank you so much for joining us on the news today. We shall be following up to see the response from government on this particular matter. Away from that, you're watching News Today. President of the Federal Republic of Germany, Frank-Walter Steinmeier, is ending his state visit to Ghana in the Ashanti region, paying a courtesy call to the Menchir Palace and the Asante Kingdom. In his round of tour to the region, he will be cutting sword for the construction of a Center of Excellence for Green Technologies at the Kumasi Technical Institute that head to the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology before finally meeting with the Asante later in the day. The visit is focused on strengthening bilateral relations, particularly in the areas of trade, technology, investment and development. And my colleague Emmanuel Bright-Kweku is a man on the beat.
Coming to you live from the Kumasi Technical Institute here in the Ashanti region, and it is the third day of the visit, the state visit by German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier to the region. In fact, from the itinerary, we know that he is to spend some 3 days in the country, and his last day will be a tour in the Ashanti region. Where I am currently coming to you live is from the Kumasi Technical Institute, and in fact, this morning we are having a groundbreaking ceremony by the president, and that is the sword cutting for a Center of Excellence for Green Technologies. And you know the German government is really keen on green technologies. And so for this morning, we will have the president and some state officials from government also here to cut sword for the Center of Excellence for Green Technologies. And in fact, this school is one of the biggest, or in fact, one of the industrial TVET centers we are having in our country. And this project is being constructed under the auspices of the Commission for Technical and Vocational Education and Training, CTVET, here in the country. And as you can see in your shot, we're having some officials from the German government and also the government of Ghana in this particular morning discussion. In fact, the German president will from here move to other places. But for this morning, this is what is going to happen, a groundbreaking ceremony that will be happening here. In fact, we understand that this project will focus on green technologies in the areas of mechanics and plumbing, also refrigeration and air conditioning and green technologies. We also have domestic electrical installation and electrics or electronics also, and also we're having some industrial garments. These are areas that the project, once completed, will be focusing on, and will be training the students here and even some artisans within the Ashanti region on ways to improve or provide some renewable and green technologies in the country. In fact, this is in line or is in response to the Ghana National Strategy, Job Strategy implementation, and also the renewable energy master plan for the country. And so this is one crucial moment. It's a crucial groundbreaking ceremony for the country, where we are having the German president Frank-Walter Steinmeier cut sword for the Center for Excellence here in the Ashanti region. As you can see in your shots, these are officials from the Education Ministry, the Commission for Technical and Vocational Education and Training also here. We're also having some officials from the government.
You're watching News Today. Let's bring you some business updates.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Business on JoyNews Today. My name is James Shen. To our very first story, GCB Bank PLC has launched the Amber Club, an exclusive customer engagement platform designed to reward long-term loyalty and strengthen client relationships. The bank's Chief Marketing, Communications and Customer Experience Officer, Cynthia Oforijumfo, says the launch of the Amber Club marks a new era in customer engagement, one that focuses on rewarding loyalty and building lasting relationships.
Special event held to mark the climax of Customer Service Month, GCB Bank brought together top-tier clients and partners to celebrate loyalty and partnership. The Amber Club offers a bespoke platform designed to deliver tailored services and curated experiences to valued customers. Speaking at the launch, the bank's Chief Marketing, Communications and Customer Experience Officer, Cynthia Oforijumfo, emphasized that the Amber Club is meant to create specialized experiences for GCB's premium clients.
It's really been a night about rewarding partnership and long-term loyalty. We launched tonight the Amber Club, which is our one platform for really just curating specialized experiences for our customers. It's an opportunity for us to treat our top-tier customers specially and introduce them to a customized way of banking and enable their businesses in a more intimate, intentional manner.
She added that the Amber Club reflects GCB's commitment to putting customers at the heart of its operations. She also emphasized that banking is about relationships, and through this initiative, GCB aims to build trust, offer curated services, and ensure clients see the bank as their partner for life.
Banking is all about relationships. We understand that in order for our customers to excel, we need to have a great relationship with them. We need to be there for them. And the Amber Club serves as our opportunity to establish that squarely with our customers. And for us, the objective of the Amber Club is about the future. How do we establish ourselves as their bank for life? And everything we're doing with the Amber Club, from curated experiences to specialized services to intentional support, is also just aligning to our customer-centric vision as a bank.
As GCB Bank charts its next chapter of growth, Cynthia Oforujumfor says the Amber Club will serve as a cornerstone for building stronger, trust-based relationships, proving that GCB's loyalty and partnership remains at the core of its success.
Now, Jack Motors, a global automotive powerhouse, has partnered with Triton Motors Limited to transform Ghana's automotive industry with the introduction of 8 cutting-edge vehicles. The partnership aims to provide Ghanaians with a wide range of reliable, technologically advanced and affordable vehicles. More in the following report.
Speaking to Joy Business on the sidelines of the GAT Fair, which is a premier automobile and transport fair designed to drive innovation, mobility and policy change in the country's transport and automotive sectors, Sales Manager Southwest Africa of Jack Group, Mr. Bruzail, highlighted the company's impressive global presence with operations in over 130 countries and nearly 10 million customers.
Ghana is a beautiful country. It is, Ghana developed very, very fast. And since the first time I came here is about the year 2011. And now is around 15 years past. So I can see Ghana have a very, very rapid development. So that is why, GAC, we want to develop Ghana markets. And also, very luckily, we found Triton Motors as our partner. Now we are planning to set up assembly plants here. So we want to attribute to this country and to develop the automobile industry together.
He emphasized Jack's commitment to delivering high-quality vehicles that meet diverse customer needs. He assured customers of Jack commercial trucks and other models of high value and efficient service delivery through its mobile outreach services.
We already have very good quality. Actually, GC, we have more than 60 years history of car manufacturing. Also, we have more than 30 years export experience to African markets. All our vehicle, from design to the manufacturer, we follow the very strict standard. We have certificates of EU, we have certificates of American DOT, also have Australia and also the Gulf certificates. So GC products is like a global product.
Mr. Zaya also used the opportunity to introduce its latest heavy and light truck set to hit the market.
This is our heavy-duty truck. This is a tipper truck. GC, for heavy-duty truck, we have a tipper truck, we have a tractor head, also we have a lorry truck. We have full range of heavy-duty truck. This one, the capacity is 30 cubic meters for the cargo, okay?
And that's all for business on JoyNews Today with me, James Ishen. Stay tuned as MFA takes over.
Thank you so much, James. And a probe into the mining license regime under the current John Mahama government has resulted in a clash between ranking member and vice chairman of the Public Accounts Committee. And James Savage, my colleague, joins us with live details. James, walk us through what happened.
Well, it all started with a question from the vice chairman of the committee, David Sopoku-Mensah, who wanted to know how the lands ministry is doing in terms of the licenses that has been issued under the previous government and new ones And the minister, the Deputy Lands Minister, Yusuf Sulemana, in answering the question, indicated that so far they have looked into about 900 licenses, small-scale licenses, and they've identified that a total of 278 did not follow the laid-down regulations in issuing them, and so they have revoked all of them. It is at that point that he went on to inquire if that is what the work has been on the previous licenses. He wanted to know how many licenses the current government has issued so far. The minister has been evasive in answering that particular question. He said he does not have the figures offhand, and so he wants some 24 hours to send those figures to Parliament. The MP was not happy, made a remark that he's been able to give out what happened under the previous government, but has not been able to give out that. Then he came in and said, even before President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo left, 4 days to him leaving office, he signed over 50 licenses. And so trying to pick the picture that the MP or the previous government does not have the moral right to take on the current government on what has been transpiring as far as licenses are concerned. And so the ranking on the committee, Samuel Ataman, stepped in and ruled on the matter that they would not allow any further question on the issue. The vice chairperson, chairman of the committee would also not agree. Right. And the ranking had to scream on top of his voice to insist that nobody asked any question on that. The vice chairman left the committee room briefly in some level of anger, but came back and proceedings have resumed as we speak.
Interesting, James. Thank you for bringing us that clash at the Public Accounts Committee. You want the details of that? Please stay in our subsequent bulletins. But quickly, before we bring in Showbiz, the GJA says the misinformation, disinformation, hate speech, and publication of offensive materials bill in its current form poses a major threat to constitutional freedoms, including free expression, media independence, and the public's rights to information. Addressing a news conference in Accra, GJA President Albert Kwabena-Jumfo warned that rushing the bill through Parliament without adequate stakeholder engagement risks weaponizing state power against the media and silencing critical voices. He's therefore calling for at least a 3-month extension to enable broader consultation, transparency, and public participation in the legislative process.
No. The GJA acknowledges the urgent need to stem the rising tide of misinformation, disinformation, and hate speech. The association firmly rejects any legislative process that excludes key stakeholders or threatens constitutionally guaranteed freedom of expression, media independence, and the public's right to information. It is troubling that such a far-reaching bill, one that touches the very core of free speech, journalistic practice, and democratic governance, is being pursued without adequate transparency and stakeholder consultation. So the bill is presented as an instrument to fight cybercrime. The draft contains vaguely offenses or worded offenses. It contains vaguely worded offenses, expanded state powers, and broad enforcement tools that without robust safeguards for us risk being used to undermine journalism, criminalize legitimate online reporting, enable surveillance of journalists and sources, and undermine press freedom.
You're watching News Today, and Shola is up next with Showbiz.
Time now for Showbiz. I am Lois Shalademi, bringing you all the news happening in and around the world of entertainment. Now, after 3 days of trade, networking, and exhibitions, the EcoBank Joy Business SME Fair ended on a high note. What started as a platform to support and promote small and medium enterprises across Ghana wrapped up in a best of music, energy, and color. From gospel rhythms to vibrant stage performances, Sunday's finale brought together vendors, shoppers, and music lovers in one big celebration of business and entertainment.
3 days of trading, networking and sharing ideas, the EcoBank Joy Business SME Fair wrapped up on Sunday in grand style. The final day turned into a mini concert, bringing together business and entertainment on one stage. Gospel sensation Perez music set the tone with an uplifting performance that had the crowd singing and clapping along. And it didn't stop there. Tulenke brought his energetic style, switching up the tempo and getting the audience on their feet. The mix of music and business created a refreshing close to the 3-day SME Fair, highlighting Joy Prime's commitment to blending enterprise with entertainment. Vendors too had a reason to smile. Many described the event as not just profitable, but fun, a space where customers connected with their brands in an exciting new way.
So we do tailored solutions for businesses. So once you come to us, you will definitely go with something special. And so we are very excited. I think kudos to Joy FM and congratulations to EcoBank also for giving us this platform to be here. We are very excited.
Target's branding has been there for many years. If you think about anything that even multimedia wears, if you think of anything souvenirs, giveaways, branded items, face towels, you're having a wedding, engagement, funeral, birthdays, any type of branding you need, it's Target Solutions that does it.
As the lights dimmed and the music faded, one thing was clear. The EcoBank Joy Business SME Fair ended not just as an exhibition of products, but a celebration of people, culture and creativity.
Well, moving away from that, Ghana's film industry is set to make history with King of Tema, the first ever feature film made in, by and about the city of Tema, produced by Anipwork Studios in association with Organized Chaos Productions. The film celebrates the heartbeat of Ghana's industrial city through replaying a story of power, loyalty, and redemption. This is directed by Kobina de Graft Johnson. King of Tema not only showcases local talent, but also marks a defining moment for Ghanaian storytelling on screen.
Father, why born? Someone very close to you would betray you.
What? I am fully aware of the process.
He should be here any minute now.
Shipment here, Rebbe, is not business as usual. There's a golden opportunity.
You make your choice that night. Yeah, I make my choice. Because he told me say this simple job. And now see, that thing we go do.
We know we my boys. We there for each other in times of need.
Inya aputre achepa. Eso, ya pote ni to me so.
It's a channel you that one, or did you do?
They can't control them, bro.
Two things today. You go die or you will go jail.
Them scan. Oh, yeah, very crucial.
Well, Well, King of Tema will be in cinemas on the 7th of November. Do go and watch it, okay? It's our own. Well, this is how we wrap up Showbiz. I am Loishola Adeyemi. MFA, would you be watching King of Tema with me?
No, I would not be watching King of Tema with you. I'll be waiting for you to bring the juice right here on the news, but exactly how we wrap the bulletin. I am MFA Akosi Adeti. For more news, you log on to myjoyonline.com with our top story. GRA boss, senior officials ordered to appear before OSP in SML probe. Real pleasure to have you watch the news today. I'm MFA Anshishola.